Okay, so welcome to the first session of Revolution Live. No one is here yet. I hope that some people will join very soon. So this part is just for those of you watching afterwards, the recorded session. And maybe I'll start by saying that I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And I think that this is very important for actually doing this thing called a revolution. I think a lot of times in history, there were people who tried to do something called a revolution. And I think that one of the problems was that people had some sort of recipe in mind. Please write to me if you can hear me well. I have this microphone here. I hope that the sound is good. Please write to me if there are any technical problems. Anyway, so I think, hello, Alon from Brazil, can hear you good. Thank you. Wonderful. So welcome everybody who joined. I'm happy to see that I'm not speaking to a void and that some people are here. You're welcome to write everything that you want in the chat. So I started by saying that I have no idea what I'm doing and that I think that it's a good thing. And this is why I see no revolution. Yes, this is the problem. This is the problem. There is no revolution. And I think that we can talk about revolution all we want, but if we don't bring it ourselves, then it will not happen. Revolution is something that we all need to bring. And I started by saying that I think it's good that I have no plan, that I have no idea what I'm doing. I think it's good that that I'm keeping everything open, because revolution is, I think, more than an act or an event. It is an ongoing process where we all understand together how to live together, how to make this planet a better place for everyone together. And I don't know how to bring this. Write everything I want. Israel is a narcissist. So Israel is a state. Israel does not really exist in actual reality. I think Israel is a cult, which means that it is a collection of people who, for certain reasons, through a certain process, became very much misguided and very much connected to the worst aspects of their own personality. And yes, this expresses itself in the form of collective narcissism. We can talk about this later when we talk about, like, revolution is, it has two parts, I think. And one part is dismantling and deconstructing what we have, the way that society is constructed today. And love the jumper. Oh, thank you. I think it's from a thrift store in Vienna. I don't remember where exactly, but it's secondhand. I didn't pay anyone to make this, which I think is good. I'm all over the place. Never mind. I said I have no idea what I'm doing. So we don't want a recipe. We don't want a recipe for a revolution. It is an ongoing process. It is an ongoing process of dismantling what we have, dismantling the systems that we currently have, the way that society is organized currently. Why? Because we look around and we see that the way that society is organized currently is very much problematic. You know what? I'll just start from this. One of the reasons that, so I said in the small promo that I did, sub from Bet Shemesh. Okay, this is nice. I did not know that I have viewers from inside occupied Palestine. I wasn't sure, and Bet Shemesh is even more surprising to me. If you can write a few stuff, a few things about you and how you got to this channel and what your thoughts are, I would love to hear. Yeah, so more about the collective narcissism. We will talk about this later. It's too many things. Muhammad, you are from Palestine, from Jenin. Amazing, welcome. And I really love that that I also have viewers who actually live in occupied Palestine. Okay, so where was I? Can you remind me where? Oh, okay. So one of the reasons that I've been feeling very much depressed in the last few weeks, and the main reason, basically, and this is something that I said in the small promo that I did for this live session, that I've been feeling very depressed in the last few weeks, and I've been depressed for years now. Okay, when I'm happy, it's like stay strong, Yamin Kashim. Hard days. Yes, exactly. Hard days. I've been depressed for years now, and the reason that I've been depressed in the last few weeks, and in some sense over years, is that the more I grow up, the more I have experiences, the more I look around at what's going on around me, the more I see violence, the more I see oppression, the more I see, I see crimes. I see people who do not care. I see people who, if they care for the wrong, like in the wrong direction. The most active people in the world are the most violent people in the world. Most activity that is going on within human society is an activity of oppression, of theft, of murder. And this is, I think, I had a realization a few weeks ago that the most intellectually honest thing that I ever did is this process of acknowledging how much murder is around me. So, and this is so weird, because I think if you just step out of your house and walk around for an hour wherever you live, if you really look, you will see so much murder, and some of this murder is more on the surface, and some of it is more hidden. But if you really look, you will see murder and evidence for murder and other crimes. For example, if I walk out of here, in occupied Palestine, it's more apparent in many ways. So if I walk out here and I go in the street, I will see many soldiers wearing uniforms and holding rifles. So things are more apparent. If I go to the supermarket, I will see, if I just walk around the supermarket, I will see many corpses of non-human animals who were exploited and murdered in the industries of meat, dairy, and eggs. You know, it's simply maddening to me that I walk around in the supermarket and I see corpses of innocent animals who were murdered, all of them murdered. How did they? How? What is this thing called meat? It's a dismembered corpse of a murdered defenseless, innocent animal. This is what it is. If we were living in a world that is even remotely sane, my reaction and everyone's reaction to the sight of a dismembered corpse of the innocent victim of an act of senseless murder would be to freak out, to say, "What the fuck? This is a corpse. We need to call the police. We need to call someone to take care of this. Someone is guilty of murder. We want to take care of this incident. We want to stop this." But what I actually do is just feel bad inside because I just saw a corpse. I see it. I cannot help but seeing it anymore. But I just keep silent. This is not the correct response to seeing the evidence of murder. This is not the correct response. And so this is in the subject of the murder of non-human animals. And this also happens within human society. So I see soldiers walking around with guns, talking about all the crimes that they did in Gaza, in the West Bank, just walking around normally, talking, and I can't say anything. The situation is a situation of consciousness. There is a problem of consciousness. People look at murder, commit crimes, they steal, they rape, they do all kinds of horrendous things, or they support these horrendous things, or they commit these crimes in roundabout ways, in indirect ways, and they just don't see what they are doing as violence. They don't see what they are doing as crimes. And the reason why the consciousness of people is so warped is that these crimes are done in the name of systems. We were talking about collective narcissism. I think collective narcissism is a symptom of a cult. If you look at cults, you will see that a lot of mechanisms work in cults. And these kinds of, of mechanisms of brainwashing, they are used by the cult to sustain the cult and to keep the power of the cult, to keep people subjugated to the cult. You tell them a story. You tell them a story that they are better than others, that the members of the cult are better than others, that what they are doing for the cult is actually for themselves, that they are persecuted, and that they need to do the things that they are doing to protect themselves. You tell them all kinds of stories and you invert reality. You say that murder is not murder. You say that theft is not theft. You say that rape is not rape. You say that subjugation is not subjugation. And this is how so many people are doing so many horrendous things and supporting so many horrendous things and ignoring so many horrendous things all around us. I feel like I'm all over the place, but maybe that's good. Maybe that's good. I will just tell you about yesterday, okay? So yesterday I went to Tel Aviv. I live in Haifa now, the occupied Palestinian city of Haifa. And I went to Tel Aviv to meet some friends. I'm sorry that the American war machine is causing so much harm to people and our earth. So yes, I agree that the American war machine is a big part of the problem. It's a big part, and we can specify several parts of the problem, but I don't know that it's the only part of the problem. It's only one part out of many. So I went to Tel Aviv to meet some friends. I used to live in Tel Aviv like a decade ago. I used to live in Tel Aviv for a few years. And I didn't hate the city. I hated some aspects of it, but I loved other aspects of the city. And I was walking in the street with my girlfriend, and I was like, fuck, I hate this city now. And we were joking that me and the city drifted apart. And so I think that the way that we drifted apart, and this is what I said to my girlfriend, was that I wanted to become more and more real, and I became more and more real, and the city became more and more fake. And if you walk around in Tel Aviv, Tel Aviv is not an occupied Palestinian city, it's a city that was built inside occupied Palestine, okay? And this city is now just the bastion of capitalism, of American capitalism, inside occupied Palestine. And it's becoming more and more and more like this. Everything is becoming bigger in Tel Aviv. The buildings are becoming bigger. The billboards are becoming bigger. Everything is bigger, bigger, bigger. When I walk around in Tel Aviv, I feel so small. I feel like everyone around me is sad. I feel like everyone around me is just trying to suppress everything, to just deny everything, to just go on with their normal lives. I don't know. I don't know. Like, is this the way that we want to continue? Is this what we want to do? Do we want to just ignore everything around us? Do we just want to continue our normal lives, our individualistic lives? Like, yeah, I'm going to take care of myself. Maybe I'm going to take care of my family and friends, only if that doesn't bother me too much. I'm going to exploit everyone outside of the in-group. And that's it. I'm going to continue this life. I'm going to ignore everything. I'm going to convince myself that I'm fine. I'm going to use all the mechanisms that the different cults are giving me to convince myself that I'm still a good person, even though I'm hurting so many people and other animals around me. And, I will continue. I will have children. I will have a job. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I will lose my job because I wasn't as lucky, and then I will be cast aside and become a homeless person, a crazy homeless person. I don't know, but I trust that everything will be okay. So I will continue my normal life, and then I will die, and that's it. So that's how I feel when I go to Cairo, especially New Cairo to the east. Big, ugly, synthetic, and different from the world, yes. Yes, I feel so, everything is so disconnected. Everything is so fake. Everything is so fake. Everything is full of lies. Everyone is lying all the time. Everyone is disconnected from the truth. And you know what? Whenever I start speaking the truth, I feel the resistance. I feel why, this is why people don't tell the truth. This is why people disengage and disconnect from the truth, because we are living in a structure that does not like the truth. The truth is something that is antithetical to the maintenance of this system. This is a system that is based on lies. So a good question here. How do we stop lying to ourselves? How did you do it? Fuck. First of all, I didn't stop lying to myself. I didn't. And I think that this is a key thing here, to realize that we are all part of these systems, okay? We are born. We are born. And the moment that we are born, and even before we are born, the brainwashing starts. The moment that we are born, and again, even before that, our parents, our family, our society, uh, the media, schools, everything around us starts telling us lies and putting bullshit and lies into our minds. So, they give you a corpse of an animal that was murdered to eat. Do they tell you when you're a child that this is an animal that was murdered? Do they tell you what happens in the industries that produce this meat? No, they tell you this is meat. They tell you this is chicken. This is not a chicken. This is chicken. There's a chicken, which is an animal that's nice, that's sweet. You see it in the kids shows. You see chickens, and there's also chicken, which is something different. What is chicken? This is food. What is a chicken? This is a friend. And there's no relation between these two things. This is one lie that they tell you. When I was growing up in Zionist society, so many lies were told to me. So the Arabs don't want peace, they are terrorists, they don't want peace, we want peace. And I was a curious child. I asked, why is there war? What is going on? I was trying to figure out what is going on, and they kept telling me lies. My parents told me lies. So we can go over many lies. The patriarchy tells us so many lies. They told me that I am a man. What is a man? A man has a list of attributes that I need to uphold. I need to act like a man. My dad told me this. You need to act like a man. Even my mom told me this. All my family told me this. You need to act like a man. What is a man? A man does not express too much feelings. A man is stable. A man is strong. A man is this. A man is this. So they told me I was a man. They told my sister she was a woman. And then we need to start acting certain parts, certain roles that are based on these lies that they are telling us, that you are this and reality is this. So my point is, we can go over all the different lies that are being told by the system and by the servants of the system, who are our families, our friends, everyone around us. We can go over all the many lies that are being told. But I think the main point is to remember that these lies have been shoved into our minds in very, very manipulative ways ever since we were born, and even before that. So we need to be very vigilant, and we need to remember that the process never ends. That if we want to see the truth, then the first step, and maybe the only step, is to deconstruct and dismantle the lies within our own brains. We think about what is a revolution. A revolution is a fundamental change in society, from a society that is based on lies, from a society that is based on violence, from a society that is based on separation and oppression, to a society that is based on truth, to a society that is based on kindness, to a society that is based on cooperation, to a society that is based on love. And the way that such things work is so there's a dual process here. So the dual process is that some things happen at the level of our own individual minds, and some things happen at the level of collective consciousness. And if you realize that collective consciousness is nothing but the sum of individual consciousnesses, and if you realize that individual consciousnesses are nothing but parts of the collective consciousness, you will see that the process is always, it's always a dual process between the individual and the collective. Okay, so each and every one of us needs to be very vigilant and to look at ourselves honestly and to see the ways that we have been lied to see the lies that have been pushed into our minds, and to deconstruct these lies more and more and more and more. How do you do this? Okay, so you ask yourself a lot of questions. You start questioning everything that you were told. If you find yourself saying something, or thinking something, or believing something, you ask yourself, hold on, why do I think this? Why do I believe this? When was the first time that I heard this? Did I think of this on my own? Or is this something that I heard? Does this match with what I see around me or not? So this is not an easy process. This is not an easy process. It's an ongoing process. When I look at myself, I'm in the beginning of this process. Maybe I have some achievements in this process, maybe, but I see myself as someone in the beginning of this process. And also, we need to discuss with people around us, and we need to engage honestly. And this return brings me back to this point. It's the resistance to honesty, the resistance to telling the truth is so powerful around us. It's so, again, in occupied Palestine, it's even more powerful than most other places in the world, and it's very powerful everywhere around the world. Um, I see it whenever I start saying anything that's close to truth here, I will get a lot of backlash. People will call me crazy. People will say that I'm, a terrorist or a terrorist supporter, or that I'm not a real Jew, or that I'm not a part of society, or why are you like this? Why are you bringing everyone down? They have a lot of different ways of manipulating you. They have a lot of different ways of making you stop telling the truth, and also gaslighting you into thinking that the truth that you saw, the truth that you are speaking, is actually a lie, is actually the wrong thing. And we need to be very vigilant, and we need to see the manipulation going on. We need to see how things that people are telling us are, no, it's not them actually saying what they think. It's the system that's manipulating us and gaslighting us into forgetting what we understood, and into shutting up about what we see. Okay, so I think we need to be very vigilant, and to remember that this is an ongoing process. But if we are vigilant, then we can start discussing with other people. And as someone wrote here, we need to study. So, what is studying? Studying is finding texts. Texts are, in a very general sense. A text can be a book, a text can be a manifesto, a text can be a speech, a text can be a work of art, a text can be, a YouTube video, or doesn't matter, any text. So we need to find texts that were produced by people who thought deeply and seriously and honestly about what's going on around us. And again, we need to be very vigilant, because, for example, if you look at art, a lot of things in this capitalist system, in this oppressive capitalist system, are they pretend to be art, but in actuality they are propaganda. Okay, my girlfriend and I started watching a movie a few days ago. The name of the movie is Shaun the Sheep, and we thought that this was going to be a very cute movie about a sheep. And we are both vegan, and we both love non-human animals. We love all living beings. We try to love all living beings as much as we can. So we watched this movie. We thought that this would be refreshing. We thought that this would make us feel good. We watched this movie to try to feel good. And so this movie, it's a stop motion movie. It's like with plastilene. It's made with plastilene. It's like, if you know Wallace and Gromit, It's the same studio that made Wallace and Gromit. And the movie starts out very cute. There's a small baby sheep and a small baby dog, and there's the farmer who raises them, or he is presented as their friend. But then, the more this movie progressed, the more we realized that something was very, very creepy. Because we know what goes on in farms. Like, in farms, the sheep are being exploited. In farms, the sheep are being slaughtered. They are being murdered. In farms, they shear the sheep. But this is not a pleasant process in any sense, okay? The sheep are slaves in the farm. The dog who is, herding the sheep is also a slave. Of who? Of the farmer. But in this movie, everything was presented in a very creepy and weird way. It was presented as if the sheep are just, they live in the farm and they are friends with the farmer and they're also friends with the dog and everyone is working together in the farm and maybe it's hard work and we get tired of work. So Sean the sheep gets tired of work and he wants a day off. So he does some tricks to get a day off. But everything was creepy. If you start asking questions, why are the sheep there? What is actually being done in the farm? What does the farm produce and how? How does the farmer make money? What is the relationship between the farmer and the sheep and the dog? What is going on there? If you start asking the most basic of questions, you will see that the answers don't exist there because this is a children's movie, and so this is propaganda. This is propaganda to normalize the exploitation of non-human animals. And I am sure that every single person watching this video, either live or afterwards, has been, the victim of this propaganda from the day that we are born. We are being lied to again and again and again. We are not being told the truth about what is going on in farms, for example. If you're born into this system of human supremacy that exploits non-human animals, hundreds of billions of non-human animals are being exploited, are being enslaved, are being abused this very moment. Ever since we started this session, it's been just over half an hour. Around 10 million non-human animals were murdered. Around 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, ever since we started this, 10 million animals. Can you even imagine 10 million animals? Can you even imagine this number? 10 million animals were murdered ever since I started this video. 10 million. Every day that you are alive, hundreds of millions of animals. Someone is saying, no way. Yes, way. Yes, way. This is the number. This is the number. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. I remember there was this meme going around with vegans in Israel because the Holocaust, the Holocaust is a big part of the myth of Israel, of the Zionist project. So this number 6 million is a very important number because this is the number of the victims of the Holocaust, at least of the Jewish Holocaust. At least, this is the number that is always being quoted. So the meme that was going around was 6 million every 20 minutes, because this is the number of animals who are murdered all over the world in the meat, dairy, and eggs industries. 6 million every 20 minutes. So ever since we started this uh, this broadcast, just over 30 minutes ago, 10 million, around 10 million animals. No one knows exactly. No one counts. No one counts. They have no names. These animals have no names. But 10 million ever since we started. We are not told this. We are constantly lied to about this. You, you have been lied to about this ever since you were born. How do we deconstruct this thing? How do we deconstruct this propaganda? We must be brave. We must look at ourselves bravely. We must look at these viruses that were shoved into our brain. We must look honestly and directly at all the lies that we have been told. And the most convenient of lies to believe is the lie that you are better than others. I think that we were talking about narcissists. We were talking about cults, which are collective, like structures of collective narcissism. So, so the lie that cults tell, the most basic of lies that cult tell their subjects is the lie of supremacy. You are better. If you look at Zionism, you will see that Zionism is based on Jewish exceptionalism. You will see that the cult of Zionism tells its subjects that they are better, that they are special, that they are unique, that they are exceptional. And this is why they can and should do all these horrible things. This is why it's okay. So, if being good is part of one's self image, one will be tempted to bot out parts of oneself that don't fit one's self image. Okay, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot in the last few months. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. There's this Facebook friend of mine, no longer Facebook friend of mine, who is a leftist in the sense of someone who is not so much involved in the cult of Zionism to actually support the genocide. Okay? And she is, I think, she's a liberal Zionist. Okay? So she pretends to be against the genocide and for Palestine, and she's an academic, and she studies literature. She's a professor of literature or something like that. And then, so a few months ago, I saw that she's not vegan. So I started a discussion with her. I wrote on one of her posts where she had something not vegan that she was eating. I was like, listen, I know that you're against oppression. I know that you're against violence. You write against oppression and violence all the time. At this point, I thought that she was actually blot out, not bot out. Yes, blot out parts of ourselves that don't fit our self-image. This is what I'm talking about. So I know that you speak against oppression, I told her. And at this point, I thought that she was actually a good person who actually cares about bringing good to the world. So I noticed that you are not vegan, which means that you are participating in horrific, violent acts. I didn't even say it so bluntly. I was like, maybe you want to talk about this. I was very delicate because I wanted to give her a chance. And she reacted in a very aggressive way. And ever since, it's been like 2 months, and I challenged her more and more and more about her positions, and she became more and more aggressive the more I challenged her about her contributing to violence against non-human animals. And her position is, I'm vegetarian. I'm vegetarian. So I was like, okay, what does it mean to be vegetarian? It means that you only contribute to the eggs industry, where for example, millions of male chicks are ground up the moment, just a few minutes after they hatch from the egg, and where chickens are enslaved and are kept in very small cages where they can not even spread their wings, and in their own filth, and they have been genetically modified to lay 100 times more eggs than they would in the wild, and they are kept in horrible conditions. And the moment that they are not, beneficial to the industry, they are slaughtered immediately. So this is the eggs industry. The milk industry, is an industry where cows, the female cows, are inseminated each year. So inseminated means are worded. It means that they are forcibly impregnated, which is just R worded. And then when they finish their pregnancy, their calf is taken away from them. The calf is held, if it's a male calf, then the male calf is held in a small cage, barely bigger than their own body. They cannot move, so that their muscles remain tender and soft. And then a few months later, the calf is slaughtered and is turned into meat. So if you are vegetarian, it means that you also support the slaughter of animals, just not directly you just don't consume their corpse directly. Other people consume their corpse. Whoop de fucking do. So so minutes after the calf is born, they are taken away from their mother. Imagine if there are mothers who are listening now. Imagine that minutes after your baby was born, some evil person that you didn't know, you don't know why they're doing this, they just take your baby away, and you start crying, please don't take my baby away, but they don't listen. They take your baby away and they start hitting you to get away, and they steal your baby. Imagine that. This is what happens to every cow in the milk industry repeatedly throughout their lives every single year. The calf is taken away, held in a cage. If they are male, they are held in a cage and slaughtered after a few months. If the calf is female, they are brought up to be a milking cow. Okay, so the cows are held in horrible conditions. They have been, again, genetically modified to so that their udders, their breasts basically, are way bigger than they would be in the wild. You can see pictures that compare. So if there's a cow in the wild, their udders are like this big, and if there's a cow in the milk industry, their udders are like this big. It's horrifying. So this is what happens in the milk industry, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. I will stop because I'm feeling bad. If you try to find out more information about what's going on in the eggs industry, in the milk industry, you will find out horrible things, and then you will stop. You will stop your research because you will say, okay, I cannot get more cynical than that. But every time you do another step, it gets more cynical and 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 more horrendous and more atrocious and more violent. There's no end to this. There's no end to this. So I go back to this girl who I was arguing with, who is a supposed leftist. She says, I'm vegetarian. I'm not going to go vegan. I don't care. And that's the end of the story. So I was like, okay, but let's talk about it. You seem to care about morality. You seem to care about justice. You seem to care about oppression. You seem to oppose oppression. Why are you writing against oppression if you don't care about oppression? And she became more and more and more and more and more aggressive. And I said things that were more and more and more direct. Um, and she blocked me in the end. And this made me think about why is this woman talking about Gaza? And I realized that she doesn't really care about what's going on in Gaza. She doesn't really care about the oppression of the Palestinians. She cares about feeling like a good person. And this brings me back to narcissism and to what was said before, that if being good is part of your self-image, then you are tempted to blot out parts of yourself that don't fit this self-image. And this is very dangerous. Okay, so we are asking how we can deconstruct the lies that we have been told, how we can deconstruct the most basic lie of supremacy. And I think that one of the most important parts of this is to give up this idea that we are better. It is, in some sense, counterintuitive. Why would I try to do good things if I don't want to be a good person? Okay? But this is not the point. The point is that you want to do good things so that things are good. No, not that so that you are a good person. If you are attached to your image, to your self-image as a good person, you will not only not do good things, you will also do bad things. And when you are challenged about bad things that you are doing, you are so attached to your self-image as someone who is good that you will not be willing to listen. You will not be willing to really look at yourself honestly and to deconstruct this part of yourself that is convincing you that you are good even though you are doing bad things. Okay? So I think this connects to many, many, many different ideas. But I think that what I want to express now is this thought. We should stop talking about good people and bad people. There is no such thing. This idea should completely be discarded from all of our discussions about morality, about politics, about everything from our discussion about how to bring a better reality. Because a better reality is not about saying who is better and who is worse. It's not about saying who is a good person and who is a bad person. It's not about giving grades to people about how good they are. This is the opposite of this. It's about realizing that we are all in this together. It's about realizing that we are all good in some sense and bad in another sense. I believe that we are all fundamentally good. I believe that we all fundamentally want good for everyone, for ourselves and for everyone. And I believe that when you see people doing bad things, bad actions, committing bad actions, it's always the result of some lie, of some manipulation by systems that are more and that are bigger and more powerful than us. And this is why I think that we should stop giving grades. We should stop saying they are good, they are bad. And I noticed more and more and more in the last few months, ever since I started doing this, after October 7th, that I started doing this for real, I saw how much this obsession with saying who is good and who is bad, who is better and who is worse, is completely counterproductive to actually achieving good results. Okay, so this is something that I think we need to really dismantle and really, just separate from. Okay, I'll start reading some comments, I think, some messages in the chat. World waking up. Thanks, brothers and sisters in humanity. No selective justice, never again for anyone. Wonderful. This allows me to say a very important comment. I agree with the sentiment that is being expressed here, but I think that there is a choice of words that is indicative of something problematic. Let's look at it. World waking up. I agree. The world is waking up. A lot of people are waking up all around me, and well, not here in occupied Palestine. Here in occupied Palestine, people are sleeping even more than they were before. But all around the world, more and more people are waking up. This is true. Thanks, brothers and sisters in humanity. Why humanity? Why humanity? Why? What does this thing called humanity mean? Humanity is a specific group of animals. Okay? I am made of flesh. I am an organism. I am an animal. I am an animal from the kingdom Mammalia. I am a mammal. Specifically, I'm an ape. Specifically, I'm an animal of the species Homo sapiens. This is what I am. I am an animal. I was born. I will die. You know, this is one of the reasons that I was feeling upset, that I was feeling depressed. I want to bring justice to everyone. I want to bring prosperity to everyone. I want to bring peace to everyone. I want everyone to be kind to each other. I want everyone to prosper. I want everyone's lives to be good. I want no one to be subjugated. I want no one to be murdered. I want no one to murder. I want no one to steal. I want no one to lose, the things that belong to them. I want all of us to live together. But when I say all of us, I mean all of us. I mean all of us. Here is a biological fact. Every single animal is part of one big family. The cows that are now in the that are now being enslaved in the meat industry. Pick one of those cows and look at yourself. If you go back enough in the tree of life, there is a common ancestor to you and this cow. This makes you distant cousins. Distant cousins, but cousins. You are part of the same family. If you are killing another animal, then you are killing a member of your family. This is a biological fact. This is just a fact. Humanity, what is humanity? Humanity is saying, when we use this word humanity, we mean a certain group of animals. A certain group that we happen to belong to, and that we happen to believe that for some reason is more important or superior to other animals. What is the difference between this and Jews believing that they are superior to Palestinians, and that therefore they are allowed to do to Palestinians things that they are not allowed to do to other Jews? We are humans, we are separate, we are superior, we are different, and this allows us to do things to other animals that we would not be allowed to do to other humans. What is the difference? There is no difference. The structure is the same structure. The supremacy is the same supremacy. The oppression is the same oppression. The results are the same results. The murder is the same murder. One of the reasons that I was feeling so upset, that I was feeling so depressed, is that I found myself promoting justice for Palestine, but I found myself more and more and more surrounded by so called allies who are actually not supporting justice for everyone, who are actually not supporting equality for everyone, who are actually supremacists, who are actually murderers, who are actually supporting an enormous Holocaust, and with the same excuses as Zionists use, for the same reasons that Zionists have, and with the same reactions when I challenge their positions that Zionists have when I challenge their positions. So, world waking up, thanks, brothers and sisters in humanity. Why not thanks, brothers and sisters in earth, on earth, in life? Why not? No selective justice. No selective justice. When you say thanks, brothers and sisters in humanity, this means that you are already selecting your justice. Your justice is already selective. It is only for humans. Just like for Zionists, justice is only for Jewish Israelis. Never again for anyone. Yes, never again for anyone. Never again for Jews. Never again for Palestinians. Never again for any human. But also never again for any animal. Why do we say never again for anyone, but we don't include non-human animals who are now enduring the worst Holocaust in the history of Earth? Why do we not include them? Why not? Why do humans usually do not include non-human animals when they say never again for anyone? Why? I think it's for the same reason that Zionists don't include Palestinians when they say never again. Because there is the group of those who are worthy of protection because they are like me, and there is the group of those who are not worthy of protection because they are not like me. It's the same phenomenon. Let's see. Lebanese human animal here. Can I at least choose the animal I identify with? Cat. Greetings from Vancouver. Greetings from occupied Palestine. Yes, some people identify with cats, some people identify with other animals, but I think that the main thing that we should remember is that we are all in this together, is that no one is better or worse than anyone else, and that the thought that I am better than someone else is the root of all the problems. Okay, let's see more. World expert on narcissism is Sam Vaknin, Jewish Israeli academic, many videos on YouTube. Interesting. Is Sam Vaknin a Zionist? I don't know. I've never heard this name, Sam Vaknin. Maybe I will look up some videos and we will see. If Sam Vaknin is a Zionist, then they are not a world expert on narcissism because they cannot even identify their own narcissism. Trying to maintain my sanity is my modus operandi lately. Yes, yes. So one of the things that I realized shortly after October 7th, like I knew it before, but I felt it so powerfully, is that in a world that is insane, when you are surrounded by insanity, when everything is backwards, then being insane is the correct path. So when people who are part of these insane systems call you crazy, say, great, I'm crazy. Why am I crazy? Because I oppose all oppression. Why am I crazy? Because I don't agree to supremacy. Why am I crazy? Because I don't agree to violence. Why am I crazy? Because I don't agree to murder. This is the things that make people tell you that you are crazy in these times. So I wear this brand of crazy as a badge of honor. I think that it is good to be crazy in such a crazy world. Sending you love back, Indy. And let's see. Susan Abu. Abul Hawa, the Palestinian American scientist, writer, and activist, talk about this as well. Talks about what? About narcissism? Maybe I will look this up as well. Hmm. Let's see if there are more interesting messages. Thank you for your time and words. You're taking control of your life like this joins you with our life paths. Those who seek peace within ourselves first, then our neighbors, peace. So thank you for these words. I think we should seek, I think we should realize, we should see, we should understand that peace within ourselves and peace outside is basically the same thing. It's not a separate process. This separation of self, of inside and outside, of myself and others, I think this is the basis to all the lies. I think this is the basis to all the illusions. I think this is the basis to all the violence. I think this is the basis to all the problems. We need to realize that being happy, being peaceful, being aware, being good means that we also doing these things uh, to our insides is the same as doing these things outside, outwardly. I don't know if I'm making myself clear enough, but my point is that it is a process of like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Why was I depressed? Because I wasn't active outside. Why wasn't I active outwardly? Because I was depressed. I think the moment we dissolve this separation between inside and outside, then we can truly start the revolution, the collective and individual revolution, which is actually the same thing. I'm not sure we are fundamentally good. What makes you think that? I think we are gray. We must choose to do good despite bad impulses in ourselves. Okay, so this is a very deep discussion. Maybe this is for another time. But I will say very shortly that the more I look at myself, the more I look at the bad actions that I did, I see that the bad actions that I did, and of course, I did bad actions. We all do bad actions. Okay, I will not happily, but like readily admit this, that I did bad actions. I still am doing bad actions, and I probably will do bad actions. Okay. But every time I look at myself honestly and I look at the bad actions, I see that they were always a result of ignorance. They were always the result of pain. They were always the result of separation. They were always the result of loneliness, of confusion. It's never because I wanted to do something bad. And because I don't think that I'm different from anyone else, this is why I believe that for everyone else, it's also the same. Imagine the worst person you can think of, okay? This is the person who is hurting the most. This is the person who is most separated. This is the person who is suffering the most. This is what I believe, okay? This is a very deep discussion. We will not come to any conclusions here and now, but this is what I believe. I think this is for another time. We will continue this. Please get a mic with a headset or a separate mic. It will greatly improve your audio. The problem is I don't have any money. But I'll try. I'm trying more and more to get like better equipment, but I don't have any knowledge about equipment. I don't have any money, so it's difficult. But I'm trying to make things better. To make them better and better as we progress. Total liberation, yes, total liberation for everyone. Just out of curiosity, what is your stance on abortion? Oh, no, not now. I will just say, I will not say anything now. I think it's more complex than both sides of the. Okay, like all wedge issues in the United States, this is something where there are two positions, and these two positions are reactions to each other, and they are usually very superficial. Both the pro-life and the pro-choice positions, I think, are quite superficial. And this is a discussion that I don't know the answer to. I don't know the ultimate answer to. I don't think that there is an ultimate answer to this. But I think that the Christian evangelists are more wrong than liberals are. But as usual, I think liberals are also wrong about this question. I don't know if I got myself in trouble now, but maybe at some point in the future I will say some of my thoughts about this. Each one of us has to stop wanting to believe we are good in order to be able to face the lies within ourselves. Right. This is what I was trying to express. Then we are able to act in the behalf of what is good for all. I agree. Okay. Vegetarianism is worse than being omnivore because you feel less guilty than the latter. But giving up dairy products is not only healthier, but also ends animal suffering. Okay, so I agree again with the sentiment, but I want to make a few small comments. So, omnivore is, we should stop using words like omnivore, carnivore, herbivore in relation to humans. All human beings, all animals of the species Homo sapiens have the same basic biology, and we are all omnivores. Biologically, we're all omnivores. We can eat plants, we can eat other animals, and we can, our stomachs can process this and create, energy out of this. This is just a biological fact. But our choices of what we eat, this is what differentiates between different people. Some people choose to eat corpses of animals and products made from the exploitation of animals, and some people choose to eat plants, just plants, and avoid consuming corpses of animals and the products of exploitation of animals. So, those who choose to eat animal corpses are called carnists. Why? Because they have an ideology, like Zionists, that have an ideology that justifies their actions, their violent actions. Carnists have an ideology that justifies their violent actions. These are carnists. And I think that the type of carnist is a vegetarian. So this is this girl I was talking about, and the discussion that we had. It's not a real discussion. She was just being defensive and aggressive. But in this discussion, I really saw this, how much vegetarianism is a kind of carnism. So this is kind of similar to what I was saying about being a liberal Zionist or a liberal in general. If it's just a station along the way, if you are on the path to becoming a radical, if you are on the path to realizing more and more what the truth is and deconstructing all the lies inside your brain, then wonderful. Then I don't know if it's wonderful, but it's okay. It's okay. But if you get stuck there, if you get stuck being a liberal Zionist or a liberal capitalist, a liberal in general, if you get stuck being a vegetarian, which is kind of a liberal vegan in some sense, or a liberal carnist in some sense, this is just like it's not a radical position, okay? So if you get stuck there, then this is the problem, okay? So vegetarianism is problematic, just like being a liberal Zionist or a liberal in general is problematic. Why? Because it is a construct that helps you feel good about yourself while still contributing to the systems of oppression, of subjugation, of enslavement, of violence, of supremacy. Okay? So this is the connection between these two things. And yes, if you are a vegetarian, please reconsider. If you are a vegetarian, then this means that, at least to some extent, you care about non-human animals. You care about not causing suffering to other animals. But, as I described before, The dairy industry and the egg industry are very much violent, very much oppressive, very much, it's just enslavement of animals. It's one of the worst enslavements, or it's the worst enslavement that ever was in the history of Earth. Please stop contributing to it. It's very simple. Okay. More about abortion. Maybe we will talk about this as a separate issue sometime. What do you think about Trump and what he may do or not to stop the war? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. He will not stop the war, of course. You know, what I think about US politics is that it's just a two-headed monster. There is the, capitalist, supremacist, white supremacist, Western supremacist, patriarchal, human supremacist, war machine that is called the US and its empire, imperial, colonialist, whatever adjectives you want to throw out there. And it has two different faces, and one of them is the overtly fascist face being represented by Republicans and Trump, and the other is the liberal face, which is just fascism with more, lies. Fascism with they do the same things, they support the same goals in general, and this is the way that they confuse us. Okay, this is the way that they confuse us. They say you can choose the good one, the liberals, or you can choose the bad one, the Trump. But in most arguments between liberals and fascists, I just find myself in the position of everyone here is wrong and you should just be radical. Okay, and this it's just like two sides of the same system, and this supposed struggle between liberals and fascism and fascists is just a ploy. It's just a game. It's just a charade. Okay. Okay, so I think I went over most messages in the chat. We've been going on for over an hour now, so I want to say what I was planning on starting from is the following. Maybe I will finish with this. I see so much murder around me. So much murder. So much murder. Humans are murdering other humans. Humans are murdering non-human animals in the millions, in the billions, in the hundreds of billions. Okay? When we talk about a revolution, a lot of times people say, but how do you solve this problem? How do you solve this problem? How are you sure that this will work? How are you sure that this will work? We can have this discussion about the details of how society will function, in the utopia that we have in our minds. But I think that these discussions are they're quite irrelevant when you look around and you see so much murder around you. So here is my suggestion. Step zero. So what does the word revolution even mean? I'm wary of abstractions. Okay, let's not do abstraction. Let's do step zero. Step zero. Let's please stop murdering. And then we'll go from there. This is my suggestion. And a lot of people will say that my suggestion of stopping to murder, of stopping all murder, is far-fetched, is crazy, is weird, revolutionary, radical. But you know what? When I was born, I had the position that murder was wrong. And I tried to maintain this position until this day. And you know what? I plan to maintain this position for the rest of my life. And to me, saying murder is wrong, but is the problem. Because everyone says that murder is wrong. Everyone says, yes, I'm against murder, I'm against murder, I'm against murder. But actually meaning it, actually opposing murder, even when it's not popular, even when it's inconvenient. This is harder. This is harder. So, a question that is being asked is so it's only far fetched because how do you stop the murderers? Yes, yes, good question. But we agree that the murder needs to stop. The murder needs to stop. And what I realized is this, that most people say, I am against murder, but. And then I realized that they're not really against murder. I want to suggest a very simple thing. Let's all come together around a very simple suggestion that all murder is wrong and that all murder is and that all murder needs to stop with no buts, with no asterisks, with nothing after it. All murder needs to stop. Now, how do we get there? And have an honest, serious, open, vulnerable, direct discussion about how to actually stop all murder. Let's band together around this. I believe that this should be step zero of the revolution. The before we start the revolution. Can you hear me well? Okay, yeah. Before we start the revolution, let's all stop murdering. Let's start from this. If you are against murder, if you are truly against murder, come join me in this demand that we all stop murdering. If you are not truly against murder, then you are not part of the revolution that I have in mind. Only when you truly object to murder, then you will be part of the revolution that I have in mind. Okay, so on this note, this is the end of the first part of this thing that I'm starting. I don't know where this will go. I have no idea where this will go. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm trying to talk as honestly and as openly as I can and as directly as I can. I'm trying to figure out together with people here, people who watch this live, and people who are watching this afterwards. I'm trying to have an actual discussion about how to actually bring a better future, because I realized that every moment that I don't do this is a moment where I'm depressed. If you feel the same, let's talk. Let's try to do this together. A lot of good questions have been raised now. Let's talk about them tomorrow in the second session. And hopefully, there will be a third session, and a fourth session, and a fifth session. I will try to do it for 1 hour every single day. Maybe I will try to do it at a different time of the day every day, so that people from all around the world can come. People who live in, I don't know, in the Americas, and people who live in Asia, and people who live in Africa, and people who live in Europe, and everyone everywhere. So many questions. I'm trying to wrap this up. I will do a rapid fire round. Where is Elik? Elik is in Tel Aviv, I think. We will continue doing stuff. Just he is also feeling quite bad, like I'm feeling quite bad, and we're gonna try to reignite our mutual work and put more episodes up of Yalla, of One State Solution podcast. We will do more stuff together. We're both pretty tired and pretty burnt out, and we're both trying to get beyond this. What else? Get some rest, Alon. We appreciate you. Okay, I'll go get some rest. On this note, let's all stop murdering. Let's all stop being violent. Let's all look at ourselves honestly. Let's all stop trying to be good people and actually do good around us. Actually feel good, actually do good. Okay. Bye bye, everybody. Peace and justice for all. See you tomorrow at a random time that I will announce when I decide it. Bye bye.